Hi, my name is Stephen Gregg, and today I am starting something that is kind of a long time coming. I've been wanting to tell my story, tell my life, and be a speaker and actually be able to share this message with the world for a long time. But it didn't happen for a long time. It didn't happen for many reasons, and as I go through this, you'll see the reasons. But first of all, I want to just say that you ever had that time where you had something in your heart you wanted to just get out and share, but you had fear something was stopping you? Well, that was me for a long time. And today is the end of it. I'm going to be doing this study and this message. It's called The Mindset of a Trailblazer. That's going to be my book. That's going to be my story. And that's going to be what I'm going to teach around this world over the next few months and next few years to get people to understand the mindset of a trailblazer. And I believe that this message in my life and this story could help a lot of people around the world. Before I get started though, I want to thank a few people that's impacted me in my life. And the reason I want to thank them up front, because once I get going through the story, it's just going to be an ongoing message. I'm going to start for I don't know how long today, and then I'll stop, and then I'll do it again. I'll keep going on this path. And then once I'm done with my story, then I'll be doing a lot of training and teaching and principles and all kinds of stuff. And I'm basically just giving it all away. And you'll see why here in a moment. Some things impacted me in the last few days that God basically told me it's time to give it away. So that's what I'm doing. I'm here for you, and I hope this message resonates with you, and I hope it makes a lot of sense, and I hope you enjoy what you hear. So first of all, I want to thank someone that's not here any longer with us. His name is Zig Ziglar. I used to listen to Zig Ziglar tapes when I was young. He told us to listen to him 16 times. I probably listened to him 160 times over the years, and because of that, he really helped me in my life in a big way when I was young. Also, Tom Hopkins, same thing. Tom Hopkins, listening to his tapes and his CDs helped me in a tremendous way. The skill sets I have today, I still use from Tom's. I can't remember exactly the name of the message back then. I think it was the How to Master the Art of Selling Anything. I think that's what it was. And then also Anthony Robbins' Awaken the Giant Within. That book really impacted me in a big way as well. So those three books were real big for me. Another person who impacted me from stage was a person that looked like me, that really helped me see what I can do and what I can be. And I just watched a video of him the other day, and I shared it with my wife and my daughter, and I told them to watch it, and they did. That is Les Brown. Les Brown, you've made a major impact on me over the years, and just watching your life as you got older and dealing with the things you had to deal with. You're just so much of a leader and a role model for me from afar. You and I never really connected. We've talked a couple of times in person, but you've been a major role model in my life, and someone I could look at and emulate. So I just wanted to let you know, thank you for what you've done. Also, two other people that were a big part of my life when I was young. One of them, his name was Kevin Trudeau. Kevin Trudeau is a gentleman who was the infomercial king, and I was in business with him, and he taught from afar. Again, most of these mentors I had taught from afar, so he was always on stage. He was the main guy, and at that time I was nobody. I didn't know anything, I didn't know anybody, but his message and the things he taught impacted my life. Still to this day, I still teach the things he taught, and I've helped change the lives of thousands upon thousands of people around the world with the information that he taught me. Because I learned it, I mastered it, and I was able to articulate it back out to other people so they can use it for themselves. So Kevin, I know the situation you're in right now, but keep the hope, keep the faith alive, and God's with you, and he was a major impact in my life. Another one is Chris McGarahan. Chris McGarahan, again, same thing at the same time with Kevin. Chris was my immediate mentor. Chris took me on when I didn't deserve it. He had a leadership group that he worked with, and he would get together with them every week, and we would have what's called a meeting after the meeting. And Chris would sit down with us and train us and teach us things, but I took notes with white paper and blue ink. I sat there every single day listening to the things he shared, and he has no idea how much he's impacted me. If Chris, if you're watching this, I love you, man. You were a major inspiration, and you've helped me, and I talk about you all the time when I teach and when I train, because without you, there would have been no me, because you took me on when I didn't deserve it. So I just want you to know I appreciate that. The last person I want to mention, of course, I'm going to mention a few more as well. One of them is my family. I want to talk mainly about my family first, because my wife has been there for me through thick and through thin. My wife has been there like no one else. You know, my wife stuck through me when we had a hard time. You'll hear about that, our life, as I go through my life story. But my wife has been there for me like no other wife would have. You know, I did a lot of bad stuff, and my wife was there for me no matter what. And so I just want to thank you today for being there for me. I love you. And I really appreciate how you've taken on our kids and homeschooled them, and you've been there for the kids. And you are an inspiration for all women. So I just want you to know thank you for being there for me. And my kids, same thing. Great support. Man, these kids are the bomb. Jaden and Maddox, you are amazing. And how much, you know, you've grown, and how much you respect the Lord, and how much you respect your parents. And even your dating relationship is awesome. How it's a pure dating relationship, which is very rare in this world. So I just want you to know thank you for being the kids that you are, and allowing me to be the dad. You know, and letting your mom be the mom, like it's supposed to be. So I just want you to know thank you for that. And a couple other people I want to share. I want to talk about my mom. My mom has been there. Man, if my mom has always said to me, put God first. That's all she used to say to me. And she helped me, and we moved out here to Southern California, which you'll hear the story in a little bit. But she came out here for me, and she supported me. She supported my sister. She babysitted all her grandkids. I mean, this woman is unbelievable how many grandkids she supported and took care of all their lives. And she's done the same with me and my family. So I just want to tell you, Mom, I just love you. I thank you for everything you've done for me. Same thing with John and Dixie. John and Dixie is my wife's mom and dad. And we have such a great relationship. And, you know, when we went through our hard times, thank you for being there for me, and forgiving me, and allowing me to still be your grandson, and loving me unconditionally. Because you guys have been there for me, and I want you to know that how much I appreciate it. I may not have told you as much in person, but I'm telling you now, I appreciate everything you've done. A few more people I want to share is Matt Terrio. Matt Terrio, Matt is my boy, man. Matt has been there. You know, he came and worked with me back in the day, and I helped him through some stuff. He took what I taught him and turned it into a multi-million-dollar real estate empire. And Matt, I'm just so proud of you, man. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak at your event next week, because that's exciting. And I'm really excited about doing that and being your MC and training at your event. That's powerful. So I just want to thank you. The mentor has become the mentee, and the mentee has become the mentor. So thank you for that. And thank you for supporting me in every way in our ministry. Another group I want to deal with is, you know, our business friends. We have a lot of business associates that I've done business with. I can't name them all, of course, but Domingo and Jorge and Karen and all you guys, and Nancy, and you guys have all been there for me, and I appreciate how much you're supporting what we're doing, and thank you for being there to help, you know, our lives change and be better in many ways. And then, of course, our ministry. Saved by Truth Ministry is the ministry that God let me lead over the years now, and we're leading that ministry all around the world, and we have people in India and Africa and here in the U.S., and they have been there through thick and through thin over the last 8 years. This ministry is strong. We are small, but we're powerful, and God is going to use us in a big way. So I just want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to convey this message on videotape every single week, and you guys would sit there and listen to me share this message. And I just really want to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to lead you the way you have. So thank you for that. And then most important, the last person I want to thank is Lisa Nichols. Lisa Nichols was a major inspiration to me recently. Thank you, Lisa. You don't know me at all. I think we've met once, but what you just did on a video, I just watched a video of yours on YouTube, has sparked this entire thing that I'm doing right now. You said a lot of powerful things in that message. I can't reiterate everything, but you said one sentence, one part of the program was, number one, you said to have a mindset and to repeat after me. You said, I have nothing to hide. And I realized, Lisa, by you saying that, is that I had a lot of things that I was hiding. I was hiding behind the camera. I was hiding in my house. I was hiding this message from the world. I was hiding from being able to express myself without feeling guilty or feeling judged, or all kinds of different things, insecurities that I had inside that I didn't even know I had, until you brought them out. You slapped me right in the mouth and said, Stephen, wake up, it's time to go to work. And I said, amen. And I jumped up from that day, left the gym, and said, that's it. It's on. And so thank you. So one, you said, I have nothing to hide. And then you also said to say, I have nothing to prove. And that was another big thing for me because, man, I've been trying to prove myself worthy in business and in different things in life for so long. Lisa, I've been trying to say, act as if I'm doing well financially. Sometimes I was, sometimes I wasn't. But I was trying to, the sentence in sales, fake it till you make it. I've been trying to prove my worthiness to be able to get on stage. And, I used to look at other people's videos. And right before I shoot a video, guess what I do? I look at somebody else's video and say, oh, I'm not as good as theirs, so I can't do it until later. And I would make excuses after excuses after excuses. But when you said to tell the world that, I have nothing to prove, that's why this video is here. It's raw, it's real. I ain't editing it all day. I might edit a couple things out if I sneeze or something, but other than that, this thing is gonna be raw and real, just like you're raw and real on that stage. Because that's exactly who I am. I'm being me. That's it. I'm not worried about what other people think. I'm not worried about what people think about if my eye is twitching, because you know what? It is twitching, and you'll hear about that story later. But I'll tell you all about it. No big deal. I don't care anymore. Another thing you said to share was, I have nothing to protect. And that was another big thing. I was trying to protect everything. I was trying to protect my content. I have so much content in my head. You're going to hear content like you've never seen. I mean, I'm giving you guys everything. I'm pouring it all out. Anything I can think of, I'm going to put on camera for you and give it away. But, I used to say, I used to try to protect it. I didn't want to give it away because I wanted to sell it as a business or a training or something. But you know what? I'm not protecting anything anymore. I'm giving it. It was freely given, so I'm free giving it away just as well as I got it. So, Lisa, thank you for having me say that out loud, because once I heard myself say that, and you said that day that most of you ain't going to get this right now, but you'll get it later. Well, I got it later, Lisa. I got it. And the last thing you said was, I have nothing to defend. And that was another big thing that I was used to do, is defend myself and try to justify why I'm doing what I'm doing, or justify or tell the reason why I'm existing or I'm doing what I'm doing, trying to defend my position and all kinds of things. But I ain't defending nothing no more. I'm talking from the heart. I'm letting people know who I am. I'm letting people know what's going on. I'm putting it on my personal ministry, on my personal Facebook page, putting it on my business page. I'm putting it on the ministry page. I'm putting it on my YouTube page. And if somebody don't like it, then you can leave the page. Because I'm not defending myself from nothing no more. I'm giving it all away. And God said, if you give it all away, He'll bless you. He'll take care of you. And I'm 100% confident of that. So, Lisa, I just want you to know that you have impacted me in a tremendous way. So thank you. If you watch this message, I just want to tell you just personally thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here and share this message. It's going to be exciting. And then last but not least, I want to absolutely thank God the Father and my Lord Jesus Christ. Because, I'm the person that was least likely to be a disciple of Jesus. I'm the person that the things I've done in my life, you'll hear some of them as I share, not probably everything, but the stuff I've done in my life, I don't deserve to be with you. I don't deserve to be leading the body of Christ like I am. I don't deserve to have the position you've put me in this spiritual walk. I don't deserve to be on this camera right now and be sharing this information. I deserve death. But because of you and because of who you are and how you've come to give us the opportunity to be saved and give us the opportunity to be the bride of Christ. Lord, you just, you snatched me out of the fire. As the fire was burning hot, you came in there, walked in with me just like you did Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, and plucked me right out of the fire, dusted me off, and said, let's go to work. And so I just want you to know I thank you for that, God. Thank you so much. And so I'm going to just start. I'm just going to jump right in. Like I said, this message is called the Mindset of a Trailblazer. So this message is called the Mindset of a Trailblazer, and I want to just start from the beginning. I'm just going to go all the way back, you guys. I'm telling my whole life story on this video, because I don't know if this is going to be a book one day. I don't know if this is going to be a video. I don't know if somebody might grab it and say they want to make a movie out of it. I don't know. I don't know if nobody's going to listen to it at all. But you know what? I don't care either. I'm now just opening my heart just so I can see what God wants to do with this message. So you might see me looking down at some of my notes because I had to write notes because it's just way too much. And I wanted to keep it organized in an organized fashion. So, in the beginning, I grew up in San Jose, California, which is now Silicon Valley. That's where I grew up. And I grew up there in the 80s and 70s, but I was born in Fairfield, California. Now, Fairfield is a little podunk town up north in Northern California, and it was interesting. When I was young, I was just a normal kid, just like everybody else. Used to play out in the street, and that was back in the days when your mom would say, get out of here, kids, go play until the sun comes up. Sun goes down. When the lights come on, the street lights come on, that's when it's time to come home. And that was kind of back in the day when I used to have fun. Back when it was 10 cents to ride the bus. We used to take the bus to the mall or take the bus to the movie theater, and it was crazy. We used to do it for 10 cents, and a day pass was 20 cents. So that's the days I used to grow up in San Jose. But I just want to talk about my first lesson. I remember my uncle, his name was Michael, and my Uncle Michael, I don't remember where we were. I don't remember the circumstances. All I do remember is the lesson he told me. And this lesson stuck with me, and it probably has saved me in many, many ways. And this lesson was, Stephen, if you ever meet a woman and you feel you have to hit her, he said, just leave the environment, leave the area. Never, ever, ever hit a woman. And that one statement, I know it's kind of out of left field there, but that one statement made a dramatic difference in my life because, one, I've never hit a woman. That was intentionally because God, put that on my heart when I was young. And because of that, I was able to avoid a lot of situations that could have been bad. I had a temper when I was young. I had a temper when I got older. But because of that one thing, I was able to walk away. And, sometimes when you're young, you get messages from family members and friends. And as you're watching this, you may conjure up some things that was taught to you when you were young. But that one lesson helped me in a tremendous way. And so my uncle, he's not here any longer with us, but he definitely gave me something that stuck with me in a big way at a young age. From that point, I got a little older and I started playing baseball, Little League baseball in San Jose. It was pretty cool because I was on several teams. I was on the Cubs, I was on the Braves, I was on the Astros. And every team I got in, we actually took first place. We took the championship 5 years in a row, and I was the main star pitcher. Because I used to go in my backyard and I used to pitch the ball up against this brick, and my dog Bullet used to catch the ball and bring it back to me, and then I'd pitch the ball and he'd catch it and bring it back to me. After a while, it got all nasty and yucky, but we used to play baseball in the backyard almost every day. And that was really cool. And like I said, I won the championship, and I remember one year I won the championship, which was the first time in the Eastern Little League that they had won the flag, the pennant for the whole championship that year. And I was the star pitcher, and I think I scored one of the runs and hit one of the runs in. I kind of single-handedly won the game almost. Of course we had the whole team, but I did a lot that day. It was awesome. And I felt that victory. I felt that that sense of, that I was the guy. I was special that day. And then of course we went to the next day, the championship the next day, and got blown out by another company, another team from a whole different area. But that's beside the point. Totally different message. Excuse me. But it was cool because, in those days we could have just fun, just raw fun. Just go play baseball, go out to the park, go ride our bikes, go crawdad fishing. We used to go crawdad fishing all the time when I was young. That was like our pastime. And then from there, I was a different person than I am today, dramatically. I was very, very shy. At that time, I was so shy, especially when I started getting into high school. And I wasn't a little wimpy kid, but I was shy. And people didn't know I was shy. I was kind of like an undercover shy. Because, with girls especially, I used to be really shy. Now, I was shy to the point where there was I remember this one story. There was a bunch of girls standing there, and it was early in the morning. And I used to go to school dressed. I never wore jeans or t-shirts or tennis shoes. I used to always wear nice outfits because I used to sew and make clothes back then. So I remember one time these girls were standing there in the front, and I was walking by. Instead of just walking on the cement like normal, I wanted to walk behind them so they wouldn't look at me. And I would walk behind them, and I walked on the grass, and it was early morning dew, and I slipped in the grass and fell right in the mud right in front of them. So that kind of added insult to injury. But the reason I didn't want to walk in front of them in the first place is because they used to look at my butt. I used to always get a lot of compliments on my butt that I had a big butt. I don't know if I had a big butt. I was only 155 pounds. But the whole point was, because of that, that's one of the things that made me shy and insecure. But I also had friends that helped with that too. They used to tell me things like, man, you have a big nose, and man, back in the day, you used to bag. You know how people used to bag on each other? Well, I used to be bagged on. I was the punchline of a lot of bags back then. And so because of that, I became a real insecure kid. And I didn't realize. I'll give you an example. When I got older, I remember there was one time I went to the dentist, and I used to believe my teeth were messed up because I got a little gap in the middle. And I used to think that my teeth were really messed up. And so one time I was about 26 years old later, and I went to the dentist, and the dentist said, wow, did you have braces? And I was like, no, why'd he say that? He goes, wow, because your teeth are almost perfectly straight. And I was like, really? He said, yeah. And I was like, wow, okay. And so I left, and my whole perspective changed. My perspective changed. The view I saw myself changed dramatically, because what I saw was that my teeth were straight, because a professional told me. And when I saw that, you know what I had to do? I had to go and practice smiling, because I didn't know how to smile. I had to work on practicing smiling in the mirror, because I hadn't smiled in years because I thought my teeth were a mess. You see how, your friends and your past can really affect your thinking? But that's where I was back then. My thinking was skewed. Now, the only time it wasn't skewed is when I was on the dance floor. Now, don't get me wrong, I used to dance. We used to get down back in the day, man. We used to have a dance group. That's when people would go to a dance club and actually dance versus just stand there and look at each other. We used to get on the dance floor, and we had a group called the Real Party People. That was our name, the Real Party People. There were 18 of us, boys and girls, 9 boys, 9 girls. I made all the outfits for all 19 of us. I made the pants, and then we had these white and black sweaters that said Guess Who on the front, and on the back it said the Real Party People, TRPP. And man, we used to go to town and get on stage and go to the fairs and go up to Santa Cruz and go to companies, and we would dance for them for their lunch breaks. And it was such a fun time back then. We used to have a ball, man. That's all I did. Every single weekend, I would dance. I would go out partying and get my boogie on every single week. And so that was really cool during the high school years. But another thing that happened to me during high school, I had a lot of character issues, a lot of character flaws, that I developed. A lot of stuff that I'd done that probably wasn't very good. But one of the things I did do that was good, I wanted to be a fashion designer. So I went to school to be a fashion designer. And so in high school, I started taking sewing classes, and I started making clothes. It was pretty interesting. I had 70 pairs of pants by the time I graduated high school. 70 pairs of pants. What dude has 70 pairs of pants? It was crazy. But I used to make clothes. All I did. People used to come to my house, and I'd make them clothes, or they'd wear my clothes, and we'd go to the beach, or we'd go do different things. And we had a lot of fun doing that. And so one of the first things that happened to me when I was in high school, later on, I had to make a big decision. A couple of big decisions. One of them was, I watched how my dad lived. I watched what happened with my dad, because my dad was a big inspiration for me, and on a reverse side. And you'll understand what I mean by that. See, my dad lived with us. My mom was the breadwinner usually. My mom would go to work. She worked at Signetics, and she also worked at Hewlett-Packard back before Silicon Valley became Silicon Valley. And there was 2 separate instances that happened. One of them, I used to watch my dad, and he wouldn't provide for the family like he should have. He chose not to. He was out with his friends and doing his thing. And I just remember some stories about my dad. One of them is, I remember I had a dog named Bullet, and we were living in these apartments, or this house, and the house had Bullet in the backyard. And then as I got into high school, we had to move, because I didn't know why then, but now I found out that we were losing the house. The house was only $18,000, and we were losing the house because my dad wasn't taking care of what he needed to take care of. And then we had to move into an apartment, and then we moved to another apartment. I remember that we had to get rid of Bullet. Now, I had this dog ever since I was 5 years old, and I'm in high school now. We have to get rid of him. That was probably one of the saddest days of my life. I remember crying for months because I had to get rid of Bullet. And I was really mad at my dad. I didn't know why we had to get rid of him, but I did. And so we got rid of him, got rid of Bullet, and then that was one thing. And then later on, there was a couple other instances. One of them, I had another little puppy, and the dog peed on the carpet, and so my dad got the puppy and threw it outside, and the dog broke its leg. And I cried because we took it to the hospital to get his leg fixed, and they put a stent in it, a piece of metal in it, and it never fixed right, and his leg was all messed up, and we had to put the dog down. Man, you have no idea. At that point, I pretty much almost hated my dad at that point. Plus, he didn't go to my graduation. I can't remember ever going to the movies with my dad. I can't ever remember going out to dinner with my dad. I don't have a single thought in my mind of me and him sitting down playing a game or doing anything together. I don't have any of those. So it was really hard. You know, growing up without a father like that, it can mess with you. It can mess with your psyche. It can mess with a lot of things that it did. My mom was the one who supported the family. You know, I just remember the bad things, like him coming in with drugs in the house and doing their thing in the kitchen. You know, I remember that, but I don't remember anything positive. Now, I hated him for it. You know, and one of the big things I remember, we were living in this apartment, and my mom said, we have to go. And I was like, what do you mean we got to go? It's the middle of the night. She goes, we got to go. So we got out of the car, got in the car together, and we went to Motel 6. And we had to take the dog and myself and my sister, and we had to live in Motel 6 for about a week because he took the money to Vegas and spent it on whatever. But bottom line is, I remember that. And, you know, don't get me wrong, I forgive my dad at this point. I forgive him now. We've talked since. We have a great relationship now. But, you know, it was interesting. But the decision that I made from that scenario was probably one of the best decisions for me. Is I made a decision I would never be like my dad. I made that decision that day. I said, I will never be like my dad. And I made a decision, I'm going to take care of my kids. I am going to take care of my kids. I'm not going to be a statistic. And I take care of my kids right now. And I said, I will lead them based on God's plan. I'm not going this worldly plan of drugs and all the stuff that I could have gone through. I said, no, I'm not. I'm going a different direction. So I did. And you know what? I take care of my kids and I provide for them. And I do lead them towards God. I also said that, you know, I was going to give them hope for the future. Hope that they can accomplish anything they want to. That, you know, I'm not going to squash their dreams and squash their beliefs and squash their desires of what they want to do. No, my daughter right now is a star soccer player. My son is an awesome basketball player. And I encourage them. I practice with them. I buy the best coaching and training that I can afford, you know, so they can be a superstar at it. And I believe in them. You know, I take care of my wife. We've been married 17 years at the time of this recording. 17 years. And it's going to be as long as God allows us to be here. You know, we will be married. But you know what? The interesting thing, when we got married, it didn't start off that way. And you'll hear that story in a little bit. But, you know, I made a commitment back when I was young that if I get married, I'm getting married once. That's why I got married once. And I said, I'm staying married through thick and through thin. And you'll hear the thick today. And you'll hear the thin. But, you know, through thick and through thin, we stayed married. And that's never going to change, no matter what happens. You know, and I inspire my wife to be the woman she needs to be for God. I inspire her to be the best she could possibly be for God as well. Because, you know, she has dreams and goals and aspirations. And I told her to listen to Lisa's video. I told her to listen to Les Brown. And I tell her to do all the same things that I'm doing. Because I want her to get the same type of impact that they've made on me. But see, I made a decision when I was young that I was not going to be like my dad. And I didn't. And I'm totally different. And I'm so grateful that I went through what I went through because it made me stronger. Another big decision, I got 2 more decisions that I made when I was in high school. Another one was I watched a video called Scared Straight. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but you can go on YouTube and look up some videos on it. It's called Scared Straight. It was about these people had bad kids. And these kids were, when I mean bad kids, they were just, you know, teenage bad kids. And they would take them to the jails and let the inmates talk to them. And not just talk to them and have a conversation, but really treat them as if they were in jail. And when that was happening, these kids got scared straight. And I remember watching that when I was young. And from that point on, I made a decision that I was never going to jail. I would never do something that would subject me to go to jail, go to prison. And up to this point, I've never have. Now, some of the things I've done probably could have landed me there, but it wasn't intent. I didn't do any of the really direct things that could have landed me in prison. There was some things that absolutely I could have made some stupid mistakes and went the wrong direction, no doubt about it, like drinking and driving and stuff like that. But I didn't get into gangs, I didn't get into drugs, I didn't, stuff like that that could have easily have landed me in jail, like a lot of our people do. I didn't choose that. So, and that was because of that video. The third thing that happened to me was my mom. I remember watching my mom. She used to work at Hewlett Packard. And I remember when I was in high school, for some reason, she started coming home upset and discouraged. And I was like, what's the matter? And she was like, well, the company's changing. This was in the 80s. The company's changing and they're bringing in a lot of college students. And so I got to find all the employees jobs because she was the supervisor. So she had to find them jobs in Hewlett Packard. So she was finding everybody a job in different positions. And she was like, well, I can't find myself a job. I can't find myself a position. They don't need me anymore. So she had to work herself out of a job. And they gave her a little severance, so it wasn't a lot. But, that was devastating for me. Because I watched my mom get walked right out of a company. That day, I made probably one of the biggest decisions that's impacted my life. I said, I will never work for a major corporation. I will be an independent contractor. I will own my own business. And I will never subject my family to being, bound by someone else's decision. And since that day, I've never worked for a job. I've never had a salary. I've never had an hourly wage or anything. I've been on straight commission my entire adult life. That's all I know how to do is fend for myself. And now, have I had a hard time? Yes. I've gone my ups and my downs. I went my roller coasters like everyone else. But I can tell you right now, I've never worked for anyone like that. And because of that one decision has helped me not only help myself, help a lot of people around this world. And so I just wanted to share with you that story about my high school years because, your high school years could have impacted you for the positive or for the negative. And if it impacted you for the negative, you got to look and see, was it really negative or was it just a situation you were going through so you could grow? See, that's the one thing I've learned over the years is that no matter what challenges I go through, I grow through them. That's the key. It's not a matter of what you go through. It's a matter of what you grow through. See, it's designed to help you grow as a person. And the more you grow, the better life will be. The better your life will be. I could have looked at all those scenarios in my life when I was young. And I could have cried about it and, said, oh, no, I can't do this, and I quit, and I'm going to be like my dad and go do the same thing. I could have followed those directions. I chose not to. They were very specific pivot points that I had to make. Yeah, and there was one other one that I made in high school. And then this is when I was a senior in high school. Like I said, I was making a lot of clothes. I was designing clothes. We were doing fashion shows and all kinds of stuff. And I remember I had to make another life-changing decision because I had a choice to make. My mom was willing to send me to a college, and it was called FITM, Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising. And there was two of them. There was one in San Francisco, and there was one in Los Angeles. Now, at the time, I didn't want to go to San Francisco. I didn't like San Francisco at all. But so I wanted to come to LA for two reasons. One of them was because of the school. But the other one was because of a girl. Her name was Mia. And I thought this was a woman that I wanted to be with for the rest of my life. That was my thought at the time because some stuff back in high school happened and she made an impact on me and we were together for a while there and then she moved back to LA. And so my whole hot pursuit was to move back to LA at some point to be with this woman that I believed at the time was the one I was supposed to be with. And God had a different plan for my life though. So, but the whole point is, sometimes you get what you ask for. And sometimes you get what God knows you need. And God gave me what I need, which is my wife that I have now. She's married with some 3 beautiful boys, and that's awesome. And I hope she's doing great in her life. But that relationship and that decision to come out here for her is what's going to kind of spawn the rest of this entire message. So from that one decision right there is what's going to kind of lead this entire journey that we're going to go through. From the business aspect, from my spiritual aspect, from my personal aspect, all came from that decision of coming out here to go to the school and for that girl. And so I'm really excited to be able to share this message with you guys, and I just want to thank you for listening. I'll be back. I don't know when. I got to get back to work right now, but I will be back and share some more about my life with you at another time. But until then, thank you guys, and you guys have a blessed and wonderful day.